Welcome back. I apologize for the mistake in regards to the video. I am not sure if for some reason I hit something wrong, but I'm hoping that this video is being heard. My last video, when I attempted to move the microphone, I somehow disconnected something. I couldn't figure out what it was, or I might have hit something that muted the volume. Either way, here we are, week number 2 in our organizational behavior class. I apologize once again, but I want to get this out to you pretty quickly. I'm not going to make it as long as it was. The video basically talked about the expectation of the class, the proper use of AI. We talked about the concept of being able to take a look at our stress level. That's what the conversation is this week. Our discussion really deals with, what creates stress in our life. One of the things that I mentioned in other videos is the process of self-awareness and the process of self-analysis, and how we could utilize some of that to improve ourselves. In my video that I had recorded, I talked about the discussion topic, and I mentioned one of the things that I find interesting is, like, we're at this point, you're business students, you're going to school to learn how to address these issues. Enron, in another class, we talked about ethics, and Enron was one of those companies that really struggled with understanding that concept of ethical perspective. And I think that a lot of them was not because they didn't have the proper education. They did. They went to great schools, but they didn't have an understanding of self-awareness, and what created the decisions that they made was because they weren't aware of how they made decisions. And one of the things that we talk about in this program is it's like the conversation we're having this week about stress. And some of you might be going through a position where you're so busy with other stuff that you don't prioritize these discussions, and you will use AI to sort of prompt an answer for you. Guys, I know what the video says. I watched it. So when you send me a discussion post that describes the video or summarizes it in a way that AI would, it's very predictable. So I know you're using AI. It's not good. It's not good work, and I'm going to grade it accordingly. So I want you to be aware that if your grade is not 100%, it's probably because either you haven't replied to the appropriate amount of people, or your conversation is not genuine. It's not you. I want to know how stress impacts you. I want you to summarize it with you involved. I want your voice. I believe that if I put the effort, then you should put the effort to be a part of this discussion. I think that it's important for you to realize that the self-awareness tools are really that, and if you're that stressed, maybe you shouldn't be taking this class. You might not be ready for this. Not that I don't care, but it's not my place to look at everyone's work and other instructors and what they did. But to me, in this class, discussions are one of the most important things, because that's where I see you understand the topic correctly. I hear your voice. I'm not against using AI to correct your grammar. I'm against you using AI to respond to a post. That is not you. That is not your work, and I will grade it accordingly to that. That said, I don't want to be in a soapbox. I also mentioned in my video, like what I did the past weekend. I talked about going to visit my daughter and going out to eat with her at a restaurant in Athens called the Expat. And then I got a chance to spend some time with my son. Actually, he came over for the Memorial Day weekend. I hope you guys got to enjoy that weekend and rest, and were able to really take your time to, recuperate a little bit. And then most of the time, what I try to do is try to give you an insight on what to expect for this week and what to expect for next week. Next week, we'll be talking about motivating people and what that looks like. We have this concept in business where you have like the carrot on a stick, and you're hanging the stick just a little far enough that someone can reach it, and they're trying to reach it, and that's a motivating factor. And there's a place for that. There's a time for that. When we had sales activities in the companies we had, or the companies I was a part of, there was always that goal that you wanted to reach because you get a bonus. That's that carrot on the stick. That's an approach that we use to motivate people. And that works sometimes, not all the time. And then there's also other people that motivate with their examples, with their voice in regards to how they treat people and how they act towards people, and that's all needed. But we kind of briefly look at that and demonstrate, what that looks like. So looking forward to reading your discussions. I'll be grading your previous discussion for week 1. I mentioned in the video that didn't work out that I will be traveling Friday and I'm going to visit my mom in Chicago. So I will be coming back obviously on Sunday, and we'll be back at work on Monday and hopefully get these videos out to you a little earlier. Of course, this week was tough because we had Monday off. I came back Tuesday, try to get work done, and then Wednesday I created the video and it didn't work, so I apologize again. That said, I read all of your discussion posts, and that's why I mentioned, please make sure you are crediting AI if you're using it, or 2, if you're prompting it, I'm not going to give you the grade you deserve, because let me reword that. I'm going to give you the grade you deserve. And I'm not going to accept a prompted response. I know what the video is about. I don't need you to summarize the video in a perspective of like, I've never watched it, tell me what it's about. I want you to summarize it with you involved in it, how it applies to you. The summary should be about you, how you struggle with it, with stress, and particularly this week. I gave an example in the video that, I dealt with stress because I dealt with a lot of major health issues in my life, and that created stress. And sometimes stress I wasn't even aware of, but it did create stress, and it created stress because I was worried what would happen if I wasn't around. What would happen if my children didn't have their dad around? Thankfully, I'm past that. I've had a transplant and I've been past that, but you always worry about things, but can we utilize that? And that's what the point of the video is. Can we utilize that stress to actually help us to improve, be aware that this is what's happening in our lives, in our body, and be able to reduce that or utilize that function of stress to improve ourselves? So I hope you understand that I am not looking for a summary that's generic. I'm not looking for artificial conversations. I'm looking for the reality of how you deal with this. So I think I participate in the discussion, and so should you. Put the effort to do so. What else can I tell you? That's about it. I think that covers it all. I mean, I hope this didn't sound more like a lecture than it normally wouldn't sound that way. I try to just connect with you in some form, but I have noticed a lot of that, and I felt like it would be appropriate to address it. So that's it. Take care, guys. We will see you next week. I will let you know how my trip went. You let me know how your week is going or how your weekend went, and we'll go from there. Take care.